So this is my setup every day. I have this chair, the ring light is not necessary, the laptop. I don't have a camera, but I use the built-in camera. And then I have my headsets, but because I have a toddler, one side is missing. So yeah. Hello everybody, this is Luma Gangs and I'm coming back to you, yes, with another video. So today's video is a little different. We're talking about teaching online, working from your humble abode, working from home. So I do have a couple of things, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, I tried to make 10 points for today's video. So let's get right into it. I'm going to talk about some of the things that I've went through, the things that I've learned along my English teaching journey. I've been teaching English for 6 years now. So I've learned a couple of things, you know, some of those little things that you don't even think about, but you're actually learning about them, you know. Alright, so anyway, the first thing I want to discuss with you, I won't really get into the technical side of things because I know that there are tons of videos on YouTube about which cameras to use, which headsets. I'll just show you what I'm using. I use the Dell headsets. They are broken. Yes, like I said, I have a toddler, so most of the things in my house are broken. I use a MacBook. So because I have a MacBook, I don't need the external camera. So I just use the built-in camera. The ring light is what I am using right now to shoot this video, but you don't really need that. I feel like you don't really need it. If you have a well-lit room, you don't really need that. You need a quiet space, okay? Your background needs to be clean. If you're teaching kids, they prefer a white wall, by the way. And I just learned that you can actually just buy a backdrop on Take a Lot. I checked yesterday. Can I to the same guys? Oh, I'm gonna get tabs. Sorry about that. I checked on Take a Lot and it's about 1.2 point something, 1.5. I'm joking. So you can check that out on Take a Lot or online. These camera shops, you know, they usually have backdrops. So that's it with the technical stuff. Like I said, I'm not going to dwell into that because I know that you guys have watched those videos. Alright, so the first thing that I've learned is, sorry, charge your laptop. I've ran into a number of embarrassing situations where I didn't charge my laptop and like during the class in the middle of me teaching, I would quickly have to say, oh please, sorry, forgive me, I need to charge my laptop, you know. I know it's sometimes unavoidable, but just make sure that it's your charger is somewhere within reach. Unlike me right now, I'm shooting in another room, my charger is in another room. And talking of charging your laptop, okay, so if you live in South Africa, you obviously will encounter an issue with the power. So I bought this when I started teaching with my first salary. I bought this. It's a UPS. Okay, it's a UPS. It's an external power source. It does last for I think about 2 hours if I use my laptop and I plug in the router. So yeah, I think it does last for about 2 hours. I'm not exactly sure because I haven't used it in a while now. Thank goodness. Talking about backup as well, do make sure that you do have backup data, internet, whatever. So do make sure that you have that, because in a case where you are teaching and then you don't have enough data, I mean in a case like for example if you're teaching and then the power runs out or Eskom just decides to do their own thing, then you can have it's not advisable though, these companies don't want you to use your mobile data, but you definitely can, just for you to be able to carry on and move along swiftly with your lessons. Okay, that's that. Then check your audio and your connection. So you can try to do this with most of your lessons if you can't do it with all of your lessons. But again, it's advisable for you to do it with all of your lessons. Check your connection, your internet connection, the speed, how fast it is. Check your audio before you start with the lesson. You don't want to be running a tech check during the lesson. So people will probably complain, oh teacher, I can't hear you, or please speak a little louder, I can't hear you very well, or you can't hear the student. Then the problem is not on your side, at least. So that's the second point. Backup again. You know, working online, guys, you need to have backup after backup after backup. A backup plan for your backup plan. I always say this thing, I know. But topics, when it comes to topics, let's say for example you're teaching adults like I'm doing right now. You might find somebody who doesn't really want to talk. Okay? Maybe this person is just learning English because, you know, the company is not forcing them but encouraging them to take English lessons. You might encounter somebody who is trying, they want to express themselves, but they don't know how to express themselves. They don't have enough vocabulary to express themselves. Now here's what you do in that situation. You will switch, if it's a structured lesson, you will probably need to switch to an unstructured lesson. Okay? Then you will need to be creative. Talk about traveling. Talk about family. In some cultures, in some societies, in some countries, it's okay to do that. Just, you'll get the feel of what the person's comfortable with. Talk about sports. Talk about health. Talk about the outdoors. So these are common hobbies that I've picked up from people. I don't know anything about basketball, but I do know that most of my Asian students, especially from China, they love Kobe Bryant. So they love Kobe. So I would probably say something like, oh, so who's your favorite basketball player? If they said they like basketball, and they would say, oh, it's Kobe Bryant. Oh, really? So I know that he passed away. I'm really sorry about that. Then you can carry on with that topic. Okay, so then you would have broken the ice for somebody who's not comfortable with expressing themselves in English, and then you could have maybe touched their heart in a certain way. All right. Then the fourth thing I wanted to talk about is the pace and the pronunciation. If you talk really fast, try to tone it down a little. Okay, so some people, especially students who are at a beginner's level or elementary level, they don't want a teacher who's going to talk so quickly that they can't hear themselves, or they can't hear the student, or, you know, but try to slow it down a little bit. Ask short questions, give short answers so that they can also be confident, you know. Encourage them to answer, even if it's a short answer. It's okay, it's all right. So that's it with the pace. With the pronunciation, you as a teacher, okay, this is not really related to teachers but more so to the students. You would definitely try to give them techniques as to how they can pronounce words better. My technique is to help them break down a word. So let's say they were reading a question and then there's a big word that they can't pronounce. Then I would help them break it down into syllables. Okay, so as an English teacher, I'm really sure that you already know what syllables are. So you would just break it down into syllables, and then it would be easy for them to pronounce. You can repeat it and keep on repeating it, and next time you come across that word in another slide, then you can try to get this person to pronounce it again. All right, then here's the tricky part. Some people want corrections. Some students really want to be corrected, while others are not bothered by your corrections. So you would find that I've experienced this as well. You would see this person is a little bit uncomfortable with you correcting them the whole time. Not that you really mean any bad about it, because now I'm a grammar Nazi a bit. So I really am a grammar fanatic. Okay, so I would want to fix their grammar, and you know, but some people don't appreciate you doing that. It's kind of like, it comes across as you as, I don't know if it's offensive or what, but I would literally see it in their faces that they're not happy about me correcting them. So I would stop and ask them what they think. Oh, what do you think about this? Or just break out into a little joke, say a little joke, or try to deviate from the topic altogether, so that I distract myself from being this grammar perfectionist. Okay, because I love grammar. Okay, I don't know when I fell in love with grammar. I think throughout the process of me teaching, because grammar is difficult. It's very difficult. There's some aspects that are difficult for me as well, you know, to understand. There's some things that I have taught myself, you know, through these online courses, you know, short courses, etc., even on Google and YouTube. All right, so it's something that you will have to, you know, master, even if you don't like it, because a lot of teachers also don't like grammar, but it's something you will have to master because you have to teach it. All right, and even when you make mistakes, you need to tell the student why you're saying that this is a mistake. Okay, so I'm kind of deviating from the point, but yes, that's what happens when it comes to corrections. On the other hand, you have students who really love corrections. I mean, they would be absolutely happy if you would correct every bit of their sentences, because they want to perfect English. They want to push themselves and get to a certain level that they've aimed for themselves, like a certain goal that they have for themselves. They would definitely appreciate the corrections. So you will also see, is this person comfortable with corrections? Are they not comfortable? You can even ask them. So in some cases I have asked, how do you feel about being corrected? Because I've come across so many people who didn't like being corrected, whereas I've also come across a lot of people who did like to be corrected. So it's good to ask. Try to not correct every bit of their sentence. Oh yes, so today we were having a lesson about, you know, making some predictions for your future, and I could see that other people were not really comfortable, you know, about, you know, sharing, or maybe they didn't have enough vocabulary. You never know, so you can just assume. All right, then what I did was I started talking about my own predictions about my own future. All right, I started talking to them about my predictions, what I plan to do, what I hope will happen, etc., etc. And that's how people got comfortable to share about their predictions, about their futures as well. So that's what you can do. Use yourself as an instrument in your lesson. Talk about your experiences, because we are humans before we're teachers, and we're humans before we're students. So it's okay to be relatable, you know. Create some relatable content to your students, or for your students. So that's that. I talked about TTP. Teacher. Okay, but I forgot what it is. I forgot the abbreviation. But all it means is that you need to have some physical movement. All right? Smile. Clap your hands. I know that in some culture this is not allowed, so you can do that too. You know, just have a look at what is polite and what's impolite on the internet. I'm not really sure. Be happy, throw your hands up in the air. Oh, that's so boring. Okay, just try to use your physical some hand gestures. Try to use some hand gestures. Try to have some physical response. Okay, so that it's not boring and you're like, yeah, today we're going to talk about prepositions. Even if you're smiling sometimes, then you still need something, a little bit of oomph, you know. So try to explore with that. And then next thing, watch what you wear. Okay, so here's another experience that I've had. It's really hot in South Africa nowadays. It's January, so December, it was really hot in December. I was wearing a sleeveless dress or top, I don't remember. I know that is not allowed. Kazini! Okay, so I was wearing a sleeveless top or dress. I'm not really sure what was happening, But I got a negative remark from one of the students. It was a group lesson, meaning that there were many students in this lesson that I was teaching. I got a negative remark stating that I was insensitive towards their culture or something like that, and I immediately knew it's probably because of my dress code. So each company does have a dress code that you should follow. Even if it's summer, try to wear something. It's just for that 1 hour, 30 minutes, or however long the lessons you'll have will be. So don't show too much skin. I know, don't show too much skin. Just try to be culturally sensitive. That's all I'm saying. Moving swiftly along, be on time. I cannot stress this one enough. So sometimes life does happen and you'll probably be 5 minutes late, but try not to be. Try not to be late, okay? So if you are late, quickly and immediately apologize. So some people really regard that as really rude. In some cultures, it's really rude to not be punctual. Okay, you'll even see it from the students. So they will also be a little bit cagey, a little bit nervous if they arrive late. But you as the teacher, you have to understand. Okay, so you have to, even if you're really upset that why is this person 10 minutes late, I mean, come on. Okay, you have to show that, okay, no, I understand. Don't worry about it. It happens to everybody. That's how I usually react to such situations, even though I know that I had already told myself that, oh, it's going to be a free lesson. You need to be understanding, because you don't know if that student will like you enough to want to come back to you for yet another lesson. So that's one of the problems that teachers have. Teachers, especially if you're not working for a company that gets you some students, teachers have a problem of students not coming back. Okay. All right, so that's an issue for another video, but we'll move with what we have today. Punctuality. Type something. As much as I said, Atabile, Yolanda. Yeah, I did the video. Sure. So type something. So I know I say that some people don't like being corrected, but at the end of the day, this is a classroom. This is a lesson. So you will need to correct them somehow. You are still their teacher, so you will need to correct them somewhere, somehow, even if it's just one sentence once in a blue moon. So do make sure that you at least type something. It's a little bit more professional. Okay. And the last thing that I have for you guys is have fun. Have as much fun as possible. I used to hate what we call group lessons, because you have this much time, that much students, and that much content to cover. Okay, so that would normally just throw me off. You still have to do some corrections, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to make sure that everybody has participated. There are a lot of things that need to happen in this much time. Okay, so I just decided that, okay, let me forget about this attitude that I have towards these group lessons and just try to enjoy myself, try to have fun. Okay, because I will probably see them now and never see them again, and they might have something that's going to be really valuable for me. And I always keep an open mind. So I always keep an open mind because I want to learn from them too. You don't know, they've taught me some Japanese phrases, I've been taught some Spanish phrases, some, different languages that I've probably forgotten by now, but I usually try to take note of them. Have fun with them. Have fun. Play games if you have to. I play hangman in my classrooms, even though I teach adults. I remember I went to a training, I think 2 years ago, and the the trainer told us that the people who were hosting that event told us that they're adults, they're not kids. Try to not play so many games with them. But I found that actually these people do like games. This person has probably been stuck in the office for hours, stuck in traffic for hours, probably been helping kids with the homework, doing this, doing that. Everything has been serious in their lives. So there's this English lesson that they can express themselves in. Some teachers have also told me that actually my students have shared some really personal things. You can even grow to be friends with them. Play games. I suggest playing games with them. It really helps the student, first of all, because you can just consolidate what they've learned through games. You can make sure that they've at least had some fun, even if it's for 5 minutes and they're gonna forget about it, but they had fun in that moment. You also had some fun, because trust me, when you don't enjoy it, it puts so much pressure on you. I got to a point where I was just like, oh, I'm over teaching, I can't do this, you know. And it was all because of the attitude that I had. So immediately when I lifted that from my mind, that's when I started getting good ratings, because the students were now kind of feeling my energy. Okay, so the energies were resonating with the energies that I was giving out. So that is it from my side. Do subscribe, tell your friends that I'm back, watch the videos. I know you guys don't pay for DSTV because you're always on YouTube now. I'm joking, but yes, please do that, and I will definitely see you next time with yet another video. Bye.